So a friend asked me recently, why do you do music, Steve? Like, what do you get out of it? And I thought about it and I said, I have to do music. If I'm going to live a life true to myself, I have to, cultivate my passion for singing and songwriting. But it wasn't always that way. There was 5 years of my life where I gave up music entirely and I put all my energy into growing a business. And I did that, and through all the toil and having some success, I came out on the other end and it was great, but I still felt unfulfilled. It took a chance meeting with an entrepreneur from Utah to really change things for me. And what happened was I was at this strategic coach workshop where a bunch of entrepreneurs get together and talk business and life and whatever. And I was telling him my story, how I used to play music, but I really didn't anymore. And he said, "Oh, well, that sucks." And I was like, "Yeah, that does suck." There's kind of an awkward pause. And he's like, "Well, you have a guitar in your office, right?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "Well, you're the boss, aren't you?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then there was another awkward silence. And then he's like, "Well, why don't you just try putting a guitar in your office and just make a commitment to just pick it up every day, just like even if it's for 1 second, just like pick it up and see where that leads you." And it's so crazy because that led me 2 plus years fast forward to doing music full time, basically. Like it went from a second a day to a minute a day to 30 minutes, to 10 minutes, and I just got back into it. And then what I ended up finding out was that nurturing the artist inside of me actually made me a better businessman. It made me a better father, it made me a better husband and a better friend. And so I continued to reap the benefits from that. So they did a study on the regrets of the dying, and they found the number one regret was that people didn't live a life true to themselves and instead lived a life that others expected them to live. And in many cases, most people didn't even honor half of the dreams they had. Not that they didn't necessarily achieve this or that, but they just didn't even honor they didn't honor the dreams they had for themselves at one point. So where does this come up for you? What dreams may you not be honoring because, you just got busy with life or whatever? Maybe you used to be an artist, but you stopped making art because you became a parent. Or maybe you're a dancer, but you got busy at work and you just thought it was maybe silly to cultivate that. Or maybe you're like me and you used to play an instrument, but you gave it up because life just got in the way. See, most people build their life and try to get their dreams to fit into that, as opposed to putting their dreams in the forefront and then building a life around that. Now, I'm not saying quit your job and become an actor or a rock star. If that's what you want to do, that's great, but there's already enough pressure on us to achieve these big over the top things in our culture. And plus, those are ego goals that ultimately aren't going to make you any happier. It's a great goal if you have it, but it's not going to fulfill you. You cannot become successful. You can only be successful in the present moment, because you can have success and lose it. So it's just a day by day decision. That's my mission, is to just live a life true to myself, put what lights me up in the forefront, build a life around that. We're all creating a story here as humans on Earth, and we're the actor, we're the director, we're the producer, we're the writer, and so I'm just trying to write a better story, and something that I wanted to always write. And that's my mission with music. It fires me up, it keeps me really happy and joyful and motivated, it makes me a better person. And so I'm going to cultivate that in little ways each day, and hopefully it builds up into something that inspires other people to do the same thing. So who's with me?